It's been a bit of a while, so I thought it was about time we came back with a new episode of the Meta Bargain series. What is a meta bargain, you might ask? Well, these are players that you can get for a very cheap price, considering the ability that they have. They suit the game down to the ground, always perform well in the match engine, and for that reason, they make surefire transfers for your saves. If you go on to enjoy this video, smash the like button, subscribe for more, and for today's video, I'm asking you guys to comment down below your favourite bargain in FM, because we might make another video following up on this about your picks. But with that being said, let's get right into it. And to begin with, I'm looking at a fallback option that you can sign for around £1 million from Hajduk Split out in the Croatian divisions. This is 27-year-old Moroccan national Fad Moufi, who has played a lot of his career out in the Portuguese and French leagues, but has recently moved to Croatia. Now, with some of these players, you might not be able to sign them in the first transfer window, you might have to wait till January, but either way, in-game, his value is super low for the ability he's got. You'll be looking at about £1 million for a player that can play in a variety of positions, but realistically will be a forward-thinking right back or right wing back. He comes with 14 crossing, 15 dribbling, 16 flair that you'd expect on a winger, for example, but he's got it in defence. Now, he does lack a little bit in the marking area of his game, but his tackling is good, his work rate's high, his off-the-ball movement is great too, and he can pass, has nice first touch, so he's got the mixture of having those defensive elements, but also being able to contribute to the attack too, and with the physical attributes he has, being really well rounded, both strong and quick, he's going to be someone that does really well in the match engine, with some nice player traits that suit the style of player he is as well, liking to get forward when possible. So he'd be my first pick, but we've got 10 in this video, so plenty more to get through. And for our next player, we have a Swedish 28-year-old international by the name of Samuel Gustafsson, who you can find playing in the Swedish divisions for Häcken Gothenburg. Now, he'll probably cost you £2.5 million, but what you get is the ultimate all-round central midfield bargain. He can play centre mid or DM in a variety of different roles, because there is not really one weak attribute to his game. The worst you'll see is long throws, maybe finishing, but finishing at 10 still isn't bad at all. He's got great physical attributes, super well-rounded. The same can be said for his mentals and his technicals too. He doesn't necessarily stand out in one particular area, but he can pass, he can tackle, he works hard, he can score, he can dribble, he's got good set piece ability too, some very nice player traits, and to get all of that for this kind of price is genuinely one of the best bargains in the game. I only came across him recently, but he has been one of my go-to signings since. But speaking of go-to signings, one that has been for me recently is Matthias Thula of Vissel Kobe out in the Japanese divisions. You can pick up this 24-year-old Brazilian for around £1 million, £2 million, and what you get is a player that is not yet in his prime, so still has plenty of years in his locker. Sometimes with these bargains, they are in their later 20s, but not him. He's 24 with years left ahead of him. Physically, really well-rounded. He's got the strength, the jumping reach, and the pace. He's really good mentally too, and then technically can defend really well, 14 tackling, 13 marking, and also decent positioning, but he can also pass great too. 14 passing, 13 technique, heads the ball, great first touch, dribbling ability. You can't often get great ball playing defenders, particularly for this kind of price, so he really stands out as a great option. For me, he's Premier League quality already. Would he start for a Manchester United, Chelsea, Man City? Probably not, but if you're, I don't know, let's say Brentford or maybe Sunderland just promoted, this could be a great signing for you. Matthias Thula is his name, out in the Japanese divisions where he's been for a little bit now, having left from Flamengo, and he's definitely one to check out. But you might have noticed I've said I've used that player in one of my saves, and if you want to check out some of those saves, you can find them on my channel, linked in the description. Over there I do weekly Football Manager rebuilds and experiment videos, and I think personally the quality in the last couple of months has gone up a huge level. So if you haven't checked it out, or you did a while back and haven't been on since, go ahead, go check out the channel, and I really do think you'll like the content. I think there's some great stuff over there personally, so hopefully you do go on to enjoy it. But let's get back to the video, where there's another 7 meta bargains to check out still. And our next one is a workhorse in the midfield by the name of Ali Mohammed, an international for his country. He's 27 years of age, playing for Maccabi Haifa, and you can bring him into your team for around £2.5 million. He's got some player traits that suit the kind of game he plays, which basically is a midfielder that likes to win the ball back and then run with it. He's got 14 dribbling, 13 first touch, great tackling ability, teamwork, work rate, stamina, flair. This guy is the ultimate team player, doing the dirty work for everyone else in your team to let them flourish. I think he's the kind of player that you probably want in this ball-winning role. Maybe box-to-box, maybe even a Carolero could work for him, but I think because of his lack of tacking ability, I maybe wouldn't look at box-to-box. Yes, he can pass, but he's probably not going to score much with 5 long shots, 6 finishing, and a trait that suggests that he won't look to shoot. In fact, he's got 2 of those, doesn't like taking long shots, and looks to pass rather than attempting to score. So I think you want to keep him as far back as you can in your team, let everyone else shine around him, and let him do the sweeping up of that ball in the midfield. But if you're after someone that can maybe operate in an attacking sense in that central midfield area, then Tony Vilhena is my next pick. A Netherlands international, he has 15 caps. Yeah, I feel like I've never actually heard of the guy. He plays for Panathinaikos out in Greece. He's previously played for Feyenoord and played in the Russian and Spanish divisions. I'd assume it was back here when he was getting his call-ups. But either way, this is a midfield option that can pass and score. I think Mezzala or even advanced playmaker would suit the left-footed midfielder perfectly. Not the world's best physically or mentally, but he's got great passing ability, first touch, finishing and dribbling, can hit a set piece too, and for a couple £1,000,000 he can definitely elevate your team. You can pay, 15-20 million for players that are a little bit worse than this. Obviously there are a few weaknesses, he's a bit older than some, he's maybe not the best physically, but still, to get him for that kind of price I think represents good value for money. And speaking of value for money, the cheapest player in this whole list that I've picked out is a Norwegian international by the name of Gayas Zahid. He's a 28-year-old playing for Partizan out in Serbia, having recently moved there, formerly of the Norwegian, Greek and Cyprus leagues, as well as playing in Turkey. He's a number 10 that operates with both feet. He's got 14 dribbling, 15 first touch, can pass really well too, will score a goal, isn't really going to help you too much in the defensive phases with poor marking, positioning and tackling, so I wouldn't really suggest using him here, despite the fact he's accomplished in the middle of the park. I think you want him as that final link before your striker, left foot, right foot, playing the ball through and creating chances for your teammate. The best part of him though is the bargain price on him. Yes, there's some weaknesses, but you can really easily ignore them when you're paying 500k for this guy. He's an absolute bargain of the highest quality, could easily play high level championship, low level Premier League, no issue, for such a cheap fee. Let's move back from the midfield though and head to the defence, where we have one of the more expensive players in this list, but there's a reason why. His name is Mohamed Abdulmonem, and you can pick him up usually for about £4 million. He plays for Al Ahly. He's 24 with plenty of years left ahead of him, but he is a much more complete player than many that we've looked at. I mean, this guy can defend and he's a great ball player. He's also got 11 dribbling, 13 first touch and 15 heading, physically really well balanced, and whilst he's on the small side, does offer a lot mentally too. Likes to bring the ball out of defence and would easily be a Premier League standard player on that right foot. Even in that libero role, he would do a really good job actually, dribbling out and really being the creative hub in that bottom area of the pitch. I think the John Stones role kind of thing in your defence, he could do it down to a T. If not, and you want to keep it simple, just keep him as a ball-playing defender. Even a wide centre-back in a back three could be a good option too. For a player that might not physically be the tallest, but he can jump, he can head the ball, so don't worry about that too much. He's a great defender and a really good all-round option for the price. But let's move on to the striking position now, maybe the most exciting, where I've picked out a 23-year-old Romanian international who is on loan from Standard Liège at Gaziantep in the Turkish leagues, whose name I've definitely butchered, but either way, this is Denis Dragus, and you can sign him for about £3 million after his loan deal out in the Turkish divisions. He's been all around the block in his career so far, from Romania to Belgium to Italy and now to Turkey, and maybe to your club next. He's got really well-rounded attributes like many that we've looked at. He might not have something specifically stand out, but when you have these players that are good in the air, they're good with the strength and they are quick, that's exactly what you need in FM this year to have a good striker. Either be really good at one thing or be super well balanced. It seems to be the key in the match engine. This guy's got flair, he's got off the ball work, can pass and has good technique too, and actually can play the complete forward role, which is a really specialised forward role that usually only the best, most all-round players can play, but Dragus can do it with the attributes that he has. He's not got the best finishing in the world, but it will still be more than enough to score with his good decision making in front of goal and the composure, so he's definitely one to keep a lookout on. He's not going to cost you the world, will probably join a lower club than say Standard Liège, who are already willing to loan him out. So if you have a few £1 million spare and you're after a striker, he could be the next port of call. With our final two players, we are on to the wing positions, where we have Kiko Bondoso as my first pick, a 27-year-old Portuguese national playing for Maccabi Tel Aviv out in Israel, who you can go and sign for £2 million. Obviously not the world's best winger, but this is someone that for the price is definitely worth it, being able to play in all three of those forward midfield positions with 13 dribbling, finishing and first touch, the Holy Trinity, all at a good level. We also see some good passing vision and technique, some nice flair, works hard, good off the ball movement, and he's got the pace and the acceleration to burn past a man on the wing. Exactly what you want. Personally, with the attributes he's got, I'd be playing him on his left side because he does have the trait of cutting in from the left wing, knocking the ball past an opponent. I think he would really suit winger, actually, despite him being right-footed, but you could also easily play him as an inside forward or inverted winger. I wouldn't really worry about the other roles for him too much, but those three would definitely suit. And for a couple million quid, even if he only gets you 5-10 goals a season, he'd be worth it. But my final bargain can play on the wing, but really I think you want to play him as a wing back. It's Lautaro Blanco, a 24-year-old Argentinian from Boca Juniors who you can pick up for less than 5 million quid. He's a left-footed defender who might not be physically the most imposing, but he does have 12 strength, and whilst he can't really win many balls in the air with only 10 heading and 8 jumping reach, he's quick, mentally really well balanced, has good work rate, and he's good both in the attacking and defensive phases. He doesn't just shine in one. He's got 13 tackling, marking and positioning, but also 13 crossing, 12 dribbling, 13 first touch, and good passing range too. So he is really well balanced in both the forward and defensive regions of the game, which is no surprise he's a regular starter for one of Argentina's best clubs. I think he's a really good option if you have those leagues loaded, but I want to know who your favourite bargain is in FM this year. But that completes my list, so thank you for watching, smash the like button and check out the other episodes in the Meta Bargain series where I've picked out plenty of other bargains that could really help your save. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.